Have you ever been asked to do something that scared you, but you knew if you said yes, it would give you confidence, have a big impact on your life and business, and possibly even change everything for you? Well, that's exactly what happened to me about 3 to 4 weeks ago when my good friend Matt Andrews, who is the founder and CEO of the Family Mastermind, one of the most exclusive rooms in real estate, asked me to be the MC at the upcoming Family Mastermind event. Now, to take a step back, frame this, and give you some context, Family Mastermind is made up of the top real estate investors, educators, thought leaders, speakers, authors, course creators, and tech entrepreneurs in the real estate space. And this was going to be about a room of 300 people. Now, one of the things that immediately came into my mind when Matt gave me the invite was, number one, I thought to myself, well, how can I say no to Matt? Somebody who is a friend, who I trust and respect. He's an amazing leader. He's a go-giver. And so I always have a heart to want to serve and give and contribute wherever I can. So my immediate thought was, how can I say no? So it's a yes. But then immediately I was met with doubt. I was met with that inner critic that starts to like whisper in your ear saying, well, Alex, you've never done that before. Alex, what if you look stupid? What if you fail? What if you trip? What if you fall? Right? Who are you to do this? Now, again, I've spoken on stages before, but being an MC, I think, is a little bit different. It's a different role, maybe a little bit of a different skill set. I didn't have the playbook, and I didn't want to mess it up. I didn't want to look stupid in front of my peers and people that I trust and respect. But there was something telling me that I needed to lean into it, right? It's been said that if it scares you, that's probably where the growth is waiting. And I couldn't be a hypocrite because one of the things I always share with our Storage Wins community members and my coaching clients is that growth happens on the other side of discomfort. And here I was feeling a lot of discomfort because I had never done something, didn't feel ready, didn't feel prepared. And yet I'm fortunate and grateful that I accepted. I told Matt yes, and I leaned into that because what happened over the next coming weeks has completely flipped everything on its head. Now, I want you to know that you may not feel ready to go buy your next storage facility or buy your first storage facility or pick up the phone and call that seller, pick up the phone and call that lender. But I want to encourage you because if you're feeling that uneasiness in the pit of your stomach, then I want you to lean in because you are going to grow so much more by doing the very thing that scares you. All right, so when I said yes to Matt, even though I didn't feel ready, what it forced me to do was prepare like crazy. I rehearsed, I studied, I prayed, I visualized, and when it was time for me to walk on that stage in front of 300 of the top real estate investors and just people that I like and respect and admire, I wasn't the same person who almost said no just 2 weeks prior. I went on that stage. I was genuine. I was authentic. I was myself. I brought energy, and I felt like I did the role justice and service. And after the fact, so I was the MC for about 4.5 hours, basically from the morning session right up and through lunch. And it was, first of all, the mastermind was a huge success just overall, not because of me, but because of the people and because of how everyone shows up to give and contribute. But when I hopped off stage, and I was on and off stage throughout the entire 4 hours, and when I hopped off stage, I was completely floored, humbled, overwhelmed by the amount of positive feedback that I was getting from numerous people. Again, people that I respect deeply, people that I didn't know, people that I had never seen before, met before, others I had a relationship with, but this allowed me to go deeper with them. They shared with me how natural it was and how authentic I was and the energy I brought and how it made them feel comfortable. I mean, I was completely blown away. Honestly, at times, I felt even a little bit uncomfortable by all the praise that was being thrown at me. And one of the things I just immediately felt in my gut, in my belly, was this isn't me. Like, all of the glory goes to God, because there was a lot of prayer involved in saying yes even before I was ready, or feeling like I was ready, when all along I was ready. But sometimes we tend to be our own toughest critics. we all have that inner critic, the devil on the shoulder telling you you can't do something. Don't make that offer. Don't call that seller. Don't pursue this. Don't sacrifice time. Like, we all have that thing that wants to hold us back, but that's not the voice that we need to listen to. We need to listen to the voice that says you are worthy, you are capable, you can do this, you are ready. And if you're not ready, you will prepare and get ready, because preparation breeds confidence. And experiencing this and getting the chance to be the MC at an event with 300 people definitely built my confidence. More importantly, it's opened the door for me to create new meaningful relationships with people that maybe otherwise wouldn't have happened. It's opened up some opportunities that I didn't even know existed. And now this episode, this show isn't about me. I want to draw the parallels to whatever you might be on the cusp of saying no to. But if you knew you said yes, in your gut, you knew it could change everything. Because I realized something. What I experienced on stage is exactly what you might be facing right now when it comes to investing in self-storage, when it comes to pursuing your very first self-storage facility, right? Like, you might be on the edge looking over and saying, I want to say yes, I want to pursue storage, I want to buy my first deal, I want to pick up the phone and talk to that seller or make that offer or build a relationship with that wholesaler or lender, but you're hesitant. You're scared to jump because you don't feel like you have the wings to fly, or you don't have the parachute to survive. You're afraid to pull the trigger at the end of the day. For some people, it's just a lack of a knowledge gap of not knowing how to find storage deals. And even if you did find a storage deal, knowing and trusting that you knew how to analyze it and you knew what was a good deal versus not a good deal. Sometimes people spend hours and hours in analysis paralysis, over analyzing every single detail on a spreadsheet, looking at a market, asking themselves, what if? Well, what if I do this, but I'm wrong, or this and that? And yet people just stay stuck and they're in quicksand, and they might not feel like they're sinking, but what's happening is that quicksand is rising from their waist to their chest, eventually covering their face where they can't even breathe, right? You're telling yourself right now that you are not ready and that you need more money, or you need more time, or you need more experience, or insert whatever you are telling yourself. But here's the truth. You don't grow, then go. You grow because you go. I want to repeat that because the first time that I read that, it hit me right between the eyes, right? You don't grow, then go. You grow because you go. In other words, you need to exercise that muscle that you are going to do, and then you'll have. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Like, because I wasn't ready to be the MC when I got that text message and ultimately getting on a call with Matt for him to share with me the vision of this role, my roles and responsibilities, because I took it serious. I didn't want to just go up there and wing it. And so because I prepared, it gave me confidence. And because I had confidence, I was able to step on that stage, be myself, and just bring energy and be the connective tissue that Matt wanted me to be, right? And ad-lib and improv a little bit at times. So you might not feel ready to buy your first storage facility, but that's where the transformation happens. That's where you surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up, that are going to encourage you. And that's what I did. I hopped, I have been fortunate to have some super close people in my life that I consider brothers. Two of those people are Armando Cruz and Juan Carlos Bernal, who I have been masterminding with every single Wednesday morning. Well, now we do every other Wednesday, but for a period, I think for 11 or 12 years, it was every single Wednesday morning for an hour we would mastermind. And over the last maybe 6-7 months, it's been every other Wednesday just because of our schedules. And I remember sharing with them that I had this opportunity and I wasn't sure. Like, in fact, I got the text message from Matt while I was on a call with him, and I shared this with them. And they started to poke and probe and ask me questions. And at the end of the day, it was fear that was making me hesitant. And they encouraged me that not only is this a great opportunity, but you're ready. Like, you can absolutely do this. And so they had more confidence in me at that moment than I had in myself. And going back to you, right now, you might be at a stage where you're on the edge and you're like, I want to take that leap, but what happens if I don't have the parachute or the wings, or if somebody's not there to catch me? And that's where surrounding yourself with people like Armando and Juan and some others, my wife, others that are there to say, hey, you can do this. Take the leap, because that's where growth happens. That's where you're going to gain confidence. And understand something. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking the action in spite of the fear. Okay, courage is not the absence of fear. Like, we're all going to experience fear in one way, shape, or form. Courage is being able to push past that and do it anyway, right? There's a book that I read when I was, I think, in high school, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. You'll never feel ready to buy your first storage facility. In fact, yesterday, I had the opportunity to lead our Storage Wins coaching call, and we had a member. So many incredible things have been happening in the community. I'll share with you that more on the next one. But one of our members was talking about a deal that they made an offer on, and she was questioning a few things. And I said, listen, I've done a lot of storage deals, and there's others in our community that have done a lot of storage deals. I don't think I've ever felt 100% confident about every single thing about that storage facility, the market, the deal. Like, there's always going to be some unknowns, right? But you do the best to understand any potential risk, and then you have a plan A, B, and C for that, and you mitigate against that risk. And we like to buy deals based on the worst case scenario, not the best case scenario. And if we can make it work worst case, we know everything else is upside and gravy. But saying yes to that first opportunity, whatever that may be for you, and leaning in when it's uncomfortable, like, that is where the growth happens. That is where you're going to gain confidence, and where freedom lives, by the way. Because sometimes the biggest breakthroughs in your business come disguised as scary invitations. Okay, and that's what happened. I got an invite. I got an invite to do something I had never done before. And even though I've spoken to people and I've been hosting a podcast for almost a decade, and like, I still didn't trust myself because of fear and the inner critic. And like, A, I haven't done it. B, like, what if I fail? What if I let Matt down and the leadership team down? It's an important role. In fact, I'll share with you a super quick story that I actually shared on stage and got some laughs. And it's a true story. When I spoke to Matt and he shared with me the vision for this role as the MC, to be the connective tissue and to bring energy and to get people excited about the agenda and what's coming, and highlighting some of the speakers and the value they're going to get from the talks, and just being all in and having this mindset where you're going to play all out and go all in. When we were talking about it, Matt was getting excited, and I equally was getting excited. And then at the end of the call, before we hopped off, he goes, hey, Alex, I want you to know something. This is quite arguably the most important, if not one of the most important roles at our event. And I kind of pause, and there's this like awkward silence. And I just like, I'm thinking to myself, and I didn't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, like, Matt, brother, like, dude, I totally did not need to know that. Like, no pressure whatsoever. But I had already committed. I was in. Like, I jumped off the cliff. And sometimes you just need to jump off and trust that you're going to build the wings on the way down. Now, ideally, you're doing it with a coach or a mentor, a guide, a community of people that are there to act as your safety net and are there to encourage you. At the end of the day, it's on you, but you got to take that leap. Nobody was going to push me off. All right. So if this message resonates with you, if you are sitting on the edge of your own yes opportunity or your yes moment, I want to help you take that next step. Head over to storagewins.com. If you've been thinking about getting involved in storage, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that have told me, I've been thinking about this for years, and now finally they're ready to take action. Book a discovery call. It's only 10 minutes. You'll talk directly with me, and you don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to be willing to take that right next step. Just like that MC opportunity that changed me and gave me confidence, you taking that first step and just applying and having a conversation, right? That could be everything you need to gain the progress and momentum. Because look, Matt saw something in me, maybe before I even recognized it in myself. Same thing with my friends Armando, Huang, my wife, people that know me. And maybe right now you just need somebody like me to believe in you before you do, okay? Because that is what Storage Wins is all about. It's about giving you a roadmap, a guide, and then giving you the support system and the accountability that you need to execute, succeed, and ultimately win. So look, my name is Alex Pardo. I'm here to help you find, fund, and profit from your first storage facility so that you can taste freedom, so that you have more options. If this message resonates with you, act on it, right? Don't just like have this be another video or podcast that you listen to and you move on to the next one. But what is your right next step? What is it for you? Take that first step, take that leap, and start to build that momentum. I'll connect with you on the next one. Take care.